Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome and thank you for watching. So today's set is another autumnal set and I'm going to be on practice tips again. So coming in now with my first bead, and this is Dusky Rose Cover Powder from Glitterbels. Creating the bottom of my smile line on this now, which would be the pinky. I've come in my first bead, making sure that I've got the basic shape of the bottom of the smile line. Then I'm coming in with my second bead, creating that wall, making sure I've got a nice high wall all the way around the edge of the smile line for my colour to butt up to. Now coming in with my cuticle bead, placing that down, letting it polymerise for a couple of seconds. Getting that nice and flush into the cuticle area and blending that down into the first lot of beads. It's always easier on practice tips, especially with having the length. So don't think that everything I'm doing is the way you would do it on a client. For example, when I'm putting the colour into the cuticle area, there's no way I'd be able to have my brush up that high to dab the colour into the area. The finger would be in the way, so it always looks a lot easier to produce a full set of nails on practice tips. So here I'm coming in with Pumpkin Pie from CJP. I always struggle with this colour. This colour ends up making my monomer turn orange. It's probably my fault. I'm either too wet, too heavy with my brush, I don't know, but this is one that always turns my monomer orange. So I'm popping this bead down, making sure that I've got the blend of the bead, the first bead, then popping my second bead down, bringing that upwards towards the cuticle area, creating good coverage, tapping down that colour, making sure that it's nice and flush, nice and flat, not too much height, not too much bulk. And then I come in with my last bead into that cuticle area, dab that into the cuticle area, and then just swipe that colour down like you would be painting. So I'm basically painting with this colour. Just to let you know, this video has been sped up. I don't work this fast, unfortunately. Moving on to the middle finger, I'm popping down the first bead of Pumpkin Pie, blending that back into the cuticle area, but not too high because this one's going to be an ombre. So I've popped my first bead down, I've dragged that downwards, I've made the back flush, then I'm coming in with another little bead, making sure that that's flush up into the cuticle area, and the bottom of the nail has got good coverage and is blended into the tip. The bottom part of the nail, the orange part, is going to have a sticker over the top, so I just come in now and check that I've got enough length and enough coverage to cover behind the sticker. I think I needed to come up a little bit higher. Oh no, there was enough. This is another full nail of the Pumpkin Pie. This time I worked down instead of up. So I put my first bead, blend into tap into the cuticle, making sure that's flush. Second bead down, and it doesn't really matter how many beads you're working as many beads as you feel comfortable. Sometimes I end up putting 4 or 5, and then I come in with another little tiny 6th bead. You want to get it done as quick as you can, so 3 beads is probably the best way, or 2 beads, or 1 if you can. But with these long tips, you're going to need to come in with a few more beads. So I'm always just making sure that the beads are flush into each other. You don't want to be creating blocks, so basically like you would colour blocking. You don't want to be creating edges when you're doing a full nail of a colour or ombreing. I make sure that the colour is always flush. The colour, the bead that I've put on is always flush either side, so up and down. And then this nail is going to be a full Dusky Rose cover powder from Glitterbell's nail. So again, like I say, I've popped down my first bead, making sure the back of it's flush, ready to go into the flush area of the bottom of that bead. So if you're joining up your beads, but they're always flush, it's never joining up by blocking. Always dragging that brush over the top, trying to make sure that everything's flat. Up into the cuticle area with my last bead. Get that nice and flush and then blend that down. Now Dusky Rose is a cover powder, so it doesn't need capping, so I could build up my strength with this. But I'm going to be coming in with some metallic burnt orange shards from Glitterati nails, and you can use my code Amy for a discount on your full order on their website. So I'm going to be covering just the top part of the nail, bringing that down into a fade towards the tip of the nail. Now I'm going to be creating a swoosh on what would be the index finger. So with a swoosh, I always make sure I get a small bead of acrylic, clear acrylic, onto my brush, dip into the glitter or whatever I'm going to be using, pop that into the middle of the nail and then nudge the glitter around where I want it. So I've always got sort of a start point, which is the middle, then up to the right, and then down to the right in a swirling pattern. Doesn't always have to be a perfect S shape. It can be any kind of swoosh or swirl that you want. And then once I'd got down the metallic burnt orange shards, I added some gold leaf, also from Glitterati, some tiny little pieces that I'd cut up off camera before starting the video. And I decided to add some of the gold leaf onto the ring finger. That wasn't the plan, but I really like gold leaf. Then I'm coming in with my 100 grit file, shaping up that smile line, making sure that the corner of the file is into the corner of the wall. Bringing that round, filing that into a nice smile line shape. And then I come in with my pumpkin pie colour into the negative space. I'm going to be coming in with my sticker. So this sticker comes in a bigger sheet than this, probably get about 6 of this size out of the whole sheet, and it's from Glitter Arty Nails, and these come in numbers. So this is number 323, and I've taken the sticker off of its backing paper, popped that on, tried to rub it in and get the best placement that I could, and then I will flatten that down and come in with my stalk scissors just to get the excess off. Still trying to make sure that I've got that all the way round the tip of the nail, because it was quite difficult to get it to sit flush, but I did manage it. And then I come over and complete the ombre with Dusky Rose cover powder. So I put my first bead on, as always, small wet bead into the middle of the nail just to create that first effect of the ombre. And now I'll be building up the back part of the nail with Dusky Rose colour, making sure it's nice and flush. Now I'm just encapsulating the glitter on the pinky, but not to the point where I'm building height. This was just to keep the glitter on and to protect it while I filed off the orange that I'd spilled over onto the smile line. So I just covered that glitter basically with a really thin layer of clear, and now I'm moving on to encapsulating while that pinky sets. Now I'm using an 80 grit file, which I don't know where I got that from, but I'm using an 80 grit file to file off that spillage onto the smile line. Popping my piece of kitchen roll on top of my work so none of the dust gets stuck into the work that I've already created. Once I've done that, give it a dust off. Then having a check to make sure I've got rid of all that orange. Remove my paper. Pop the nail back on. And then this is ready for encapsulating. So I'm not going to need to put too much clear acrylic into the middle of the nail where the dusky rose cover is, because I've already created my apex with that. So I'm making sure that I'm covering the wings so there's no weak areas at the sides, and I don't file into the colour when I come to filing. So once I've managed to encapsulate the wings, I then come down and encapsulate the bottom of the nail. And the clear acrylic that I use is CJP Crystal Glass. So I've filed off camera using a 100 grit file, and then I've buffed with my white buffing block, and now I'm coming in with my top coat, which is Tracy Lou's Dreamy Gels Glossy Top. Really good top coat, lots of shine. I'll let you enjoy this part where the nails pop. So we're nearly at the end of the video. I've left a couple of pictures at the end. These are the finished nails. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a comment below in the comments box and let me know. If you didn't, let me know in the comments box. I'll be happy to hear from you. Take care, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.